All right, we're back, and we're going to continue on the trend of Jake Paul versus Mike Perry fight week. We're going to be taking a look at the open workouts that just happened this afternoon. I think that this is a good way to look at how both fighters have been preparing for this fight, but also how they're going to fight in general. We've seen in the past that sometimes Jake doesn't take these super seriously. I know that for the Tyron Woodley one fight, he sat there and boxed in southpaw the whole time, and during the fight, he didn't even go to southpaw once. So there's a chance we might not be able to get anything serious out of this, but I think it's worth taking a look at regardless. Also, we're just going to be looking at Mike Perry and Jake Paul's open workout. We know that there was open workouts from all the other fighters. We're just going to be taking a look at the two main event fighters today. So what will Jake Paul and Mike Perry show the audience ahead of fight night on Saturday night at the Amalie Arena, July 20th in Tampa, Florida? Let's talk about it.
On Saturday night at Amalie here in Tampa, Florida, please welcome to the ring, the King of Violence, Platinum Mike Perry!
Platinum Mike Perry. I think he's going to bring a little bit of personality to the open workout, honestly.
Mike Perry, one of the most dangerous fighters in combat sports, found his niche in some bare-knuckle fighting as he stands undefeated at 5-0.
That's what I think a lot of people are leaning into with Mike Perry winning this fight. They're like, oh, he's a dangerous fighter. He was dangerous in BKFC. Yes, those are all true things, but we haven't seen him but once in a boxing fight, and he lost that. So whether he's improved in boxing, I'm sure he has. But we can't just bank on the fact that he's a quote-unquote dangerous fighter, because we've seen that with Tyron Woodley, with Anderson Silva. Those guys couldn't even get it done. So I don't think you can just bank on the fact that he's a dangerous fighter for him to win a boxing match against someone who's been training specifically boxing for years. What on earth is he putting on? Is that a chain?
This fearsome career across the UFC, triad combat, and bare-knuckle boxing earned Perry on
Oh my, is that some kind of...
male fighter of the year.
That looks like a chain with Jake Paul on it. Alright, here we go, some shadow boxing. Let's get a look at it. Yeah, just a lot of, the uppercuts, the hooks. Like, I can go ahead and tell you guys, he's not going to go in there throwing jabs and throwing straight right hands. He will occasionally, but he's going to be looking for those big shots, those hooks, those uppercuts. He's bouncing around a little bit, which is surprising.
Be the king of bling after putting on that chain. What's on the end of that thing? That looks like a picture of Jake Paul with his nose broken. Now Mike is taking it off.
Yeah, Wade had the right idea. It's a chain of Jake Paul with the bloody nose.
Look, he wore his ring outfit to the open workout.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising. If that is his ring outfit, that's clean. I like the white with the silver. That's nice. He's just punched himself in the head. He's crazy. Don't get me wrong. He's crazy.
Unlimited adrenaline, unlimited energy, and I think he's just.
It's a good straight right hand.
For the opportunity, this guy has made. Who has made more out of their career than Mike Perry? You're right.
And doesn't look bad at all. He really doesn't.
They said he was washed after UFC. That's it. We'll never see him again. He started that journey, and people looked at him like, okay, well, we'll see what happens. And then he took that over. Not only is he the king of it, UFC champions.
He's not, one thing I will say is he's not following, and I know this is just pad work. This isn't super telling about what he's going to do in the actual fight, but he's not following through with his hooks and his uppercuts. He's throwing that uppercut, boom, and then stopping here instead of going all the way through those pads. He's not doing that. He's just kind of stopping at the pad. He cannot do that in the fight. He's got to punch all the way through, or else he's not even going to hurt Jake.
Luke Rockhold, hello.
He has a decent jab. He actually really does. That's a lot better of a jab than I expected him to have.
So Mike thinks, listen, I've done this to everybody, and I'm going to do it to the same thing the Disney Kid. The Disney Kid. Mike Perry's never fought.
He reminds me of Tyron Woodley. I'm going to be honest. Like, strong, dangerous, but his boxing technique just doesn't look, like, amazing. And I know he's done BKFC, but, like, that's so different to just having a good technique in actual boxing.
And one of the things that Mike's known for isn't his slick head movement. It's not his defensive prowess. It is getting punched in the face. And
Wade makes a really good point right there. Mike Perry's having to come up in weight. He's meeting Jake Paul at his weight, at 200. So his chin is going to be a little bit more susceptible than Jake's might be. And Jake is a power puncher. So if Mike Perry doesn't fix the fact that he's not smart about moving his head, smart about his defense, he's going to get hurt bad.
More
He's not bad.
bigger,
I mean, he's really not. He's just not like
everywhere.
the cleanest boxer. But I don't think anyone expected him to be.
Get Jake Paul early, it's going to be a long night. Do you agree with that? I don't know, man, because listen, I don't know that Mike Perry has to get Jake early, but he does. If he's going to be the king of violence, he has to survive until those later rounds. And Mike Perry's going to do it. To me, it's going to be tiring the bigger fighter out. It's going to be wearing Jake down round by round by round. And we know Mike's got a gas tank. That's never an issue with him. So
Mike Perry definitely, if he's going to win this fight, it's going to be later on in the fight.
Because he was supposed to sparring gloves. I have the gloves on. Because the only thing
Like,
that's
again, he's just not following through very well with his shots, in my opinion.
Mike's style in bare knuckle is going to be a style in the boxing ring as well. But that's what I need.
I'll be honest, it looks like Mike's kind of tired a little bit. I mean, he's not obviously huffing and puffing, but like, he came out with a ball of energy and he's slowed down a little bit. I wonder if his gas tank is going to be a problem. He's a showman. He's definitely a showman. He's Jake Paul in that way. He's definitely a showman.
Not man enough to handle me. What happens if the expect called Jake Green in the fight game? But if you're looking at experience versus experience, Jake has more.
But I mean, yeah, in the face-to-face he called Jake Paul green, but like in the sport of boxing, Jake Paul's just not green anymore. He's experienced.
Oh my God, he almost fell down.
That's called a fly.
Don't blow out your hammy.
What is he doing? So they're punching himself in the face. This guy. He's hype. Dun 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 dun. BK.
You got a friend? You got a friend in here?
What on earth? Oh my gosh! Oh, yo, dog! He just punched the mascot. Yo! He just punched the W mascot. Oh my! I wonder how much of that is staged.
I hear a lot of talk coming into this fight between you and Jake. Is this build up? Is it real? What's going down Saturday night?
Of course this is real. This is as real as it gets. Platinum Mike Perry, been fighting my whole life. I've been waiting for this opportunity. I'm a warrior of the Lord.
Just listen to him. Listen to him huffing and puffing for air while he's giving this interview. I think Mike Perry's gas tank might end up being an issue, and if he's not in shape, oh boy, is he going to be in trouble.
I bring it, and it can't be taken away. You can hit me as hard as you want. I'm gonna keep coming at you. I eat bowls and nails for breakfast.
You do what now?
You're a Floridian by heart. A message for the fans.
The interviewer instantly after he says he eats bowls and nails for breakfast, he goes, "Yeah, you're a Floridian at heart." Yep, something that someone from Florida would say. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit to Jake Paul's open workout. I wonder how much more crazy, how much more tame that his is gonna be.
Here he comes. He made all of this happen. People called it a gimmick, and he went on to revolutionize the sport of boxing. From Cleveland, Ohio, here is the disruptor, the businessman, the fighter. Please welcome El Gallo, Jake Paul.
Here he comes. Oh my gosh. The Pit Crew. Ah, that's smart. I like that. The Pit Crew, referring to deodorant like his armpit. That's creative. Look at him. Man, you saw Jake record. He's 9-1. That's crazy to think that he's already had 10 professional fights. 11 if you want to count his amateur fight against Deji. That's wild. Time really flies by. Looking a lot more lean, obviously, for this fight than he was for the Mike Tyson fight. I think reports said that he had cut up to, bulked up to 230 pounds for that fight. So he's looking a lot more lean, but keeping his muscles, so I mean, that's what you want to see. Jump rope. If he jumps rope for 20 minutes, I'm going to have absolutely nothing to say about this. I mean, what do I say about him jumping rope? If guys weight at 200, he's definitely going to be right at 200 for this fight.
You made a good point earlier. Jake Paul was bulking up to fight Mike Tyson at heavyweight. He's had to cut weight to get
Todd
to
and
that
Wade
200
are going right into what I was talking about.
Think it was much
a lot more
of
lean.
a problem, and in there right now, he looks pretty darn good. Well, if it was a problem, this is the problem child. And listen, I talked about a trap fight with Amanda Serrano. This is a different meaning. Look at the kid's traps right now. those neck muscles are bulging. The guy was in heat condition for a different weight class. He had to cut some weight down, so he's looking to make that weight. And he even talked about, you know, it's going to be a tough cut, but he's here. He's ready
Jake
to
has
go.
said in
One
these
thing you can't
uncuts
say
that
about
the
Jake
Zone
is
have done,
will
that he still has
always
like
take a
10
challenge.
pounds to cut.
And again,
So
he didn't have to fight at all.
I'm not
He
saying
had
he's
the
going to
Mike
miss
Tyson
weight,
fight.
but
Okay, we put
it's
it
going
off.
to come down
We'll
to
do
the
it another
wire.
time.
Jake Paul said he will pay me $500,000 if I go the distance with him. In your opinion?
Yeah,
What
those
are
are
the
those
odds
mind
that
games.
Jake Paul
Jake said he'd pay
doesn't
Mike Perry
finish Mike Perry
$500,000 to
and
go the
does go the
distance.
full 8
Those are those
Listen,
mind games that are
it's
going to play in Mike Perry's
more
head.
than likely that Jake has at some point in this fight a moment where either he has got an opening and he can put Mike away, or Mike finds his opening and can change the pace of this fight. It's going to be a moment, I think it's going to be in the first couple of rounds, where both guys are open to land hammers. It's just going to be who gets there. And Jake is more technical. He's been in this sport longer, so the likelihood is that he gets this done. But again, you're talking about a guy with Mike Perry.
I think Wade's right. I don't think this goes the distance. I think someone's going to
cartwheel
find an
skill he
opening to
has,
score a
if
knockout.
he's able to.
Well, you know, Jake Paul predicted that he would knock out Nate Diaz, which he wasn't able to do. And I asked him about that. Hey, listen, you're so confident you're going to finish Mike Perry. Why are you so confident when you weren't able to finish Nate Diaz? He goes, you don't understand how much I have improved since that fight. I've blown 2 guys out since then. But if you see me in the gym every day, there are so many things that I've learned and so many tricks up my sleeve that I just
That's a good
haven't been
point.
able to
It's
show.
a great point.
I'm hoping
Todd
Mike Perry
apparently
can bring
asked
out the best in me,
Jake
'cause I'll
why
show
he's
you
confident
how
about finishing
much
Mike
better
Perry when he
I
couldn't
have
finish
gotten.
Nate
People
Diaz, and
really
Jake
need to
responds
start
with
taking me
it's been
seriously
a
in this
year
division.
since you've seen me go
One
the full
thing
distance
Jake
in a fight.
cannot do,
It's
and
a
he
great
did this
point.
a little bit.
And listen, Nate Diaz treated that event like a boxing match. He was boxing with Jake Paul. Mike Perry's treating this like a fight. He said, listen,
Yeah,
this is
good
not
point
a
from
boxing
Todd
match.
again.
I'm not a
Nate
boxer.
Diaz
I am a
really
fighter,
didn't go
and
for the
I'm
kill
coming to
against
knock
Jake
you
Paul
out
really
from
at
round
any
one.
point.
Here's the
So
thing. Mike Perry's
I think
style
Mike Perry
is
obviously
kinda
is going
perfect for the
to.
way Jake. This is the thing. If you are not going to present anything other than toughness, physicality, aggression, Jake's skilled enough to find the button. You have to present
Bingo,
more than
right
that.
there. I've brought this up in both of my last videos, talking about ways Mike Perry can win and ways Jake Paul can win, and Wade brings it up in the open workouts. You cannot just rush forward against Jake Paul. He's too experienced, too good of a boxer to just let you do that. I'm telling you, you will get dropped on your butt if you rush forward with Jake Paul and no technique. Is that it? Hear the announcer saying something. I hope that we get to see Jake Paul in some pads or something.
Jake Paul squaring up.
Okay, here we go. Yeah,
Saturday
he's putting gloves
night
on.
in front of the whole boxing world. They'll be watching live on DAZN.
As I was saying, Todd, before I was
He's so
not
dumb.
rudely, appropriately interrupted.
The DJ cranked it up a little. He wants to be a world champion. He says he will fight Canelo Alvarez one day and beat him. And for those who say that's impossible, just look what he's done so far. Look what his brother has
Yeah,
done so
Jake
far in the
is
last few
about
years.
this
I
life
mean,
now. He's not a YouTuber. He's not an influencer full-time anymore. He's part-time influencer, full-time
Listen,
boxer
when people
now.
ask me about Jake Paul, if I'm on the street, I'm walking around, even my dad. My
Some
dad
pad
is
work.
a
Here we go.
country bumpkin that doesn't necessarily watch a ton of fights anymore. He heard Mike Tyson was fighting Jake.
You see, he just has such a cleaner technique than Mike Perry. Watch how he throws his straight right hand. Watch how he follows through on it.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I tell them that
Jab looks nice.
he
Yeah,
thrives
you
in
just
the
see
spotlight.
he
It's
steps
otherworldly
forward
to
with
see
it.
some of these.
What you want to do when you throw your right hand, your straight right hand, is you can't just slap it the way that Mike Perry was. Jake Paul was stepping into his jab and turning his back foot when he throws his straight right hand, to where he follows it through straight down the pipe instead of just, slapping it as Mike Perry was doing earlier. I think this new team has been great for Jake. Third Chambers, Larry Wade, keeping Jay Leon Love in there. I'm pretty sure his first time with this camp was the Nate Diaz fight. It was post Tommy Fury. And I think it's been a great time for him.
And the Uber driver asked me what I do. I said,
Woo-hoo-hoo!
almost every time they go,
That right hand, I'm telling you, Mike cannot get caught with that.
The biggest reason that
I haven't heard that.
crossover boxing has taken such a big spotlight, and I watch him work.
Looks good. He displayed a little bit of his long-range fighting, his jab, his straight right hand, but then you can see him close the gap a little bit. I don't know if he's going to want to stay in the pocket with Mike Perry for too long, but if he's willing to, all respect to him. All right, he's getting interviewed. Apparently this is the end of his open workout. I think. Maybe not.
Ladies
Oh,
and
no.
gentlemen,
What is he
give it
doing?
up one
Okay,
more
here he
time
goes. Yeah.
for Jake Paul, El Gallo in the house. Jake, I know you got some words for these fans.
Hey, Tampa, you remember the last time I was here? I knocked Tyron Woodley the out. Now it's Mike Perry. I promise you a highlight reel KO, Tampa.
So, Jake, that actually leads me to a question. I know you got a little bit of work still to do right now, so we'll let you square off with that and come right back to you.
What on earth? The interviewer had no idea what to do. He thought that was the end. He was about to keep asking him questions, and then Jake just goes back to his workout.
Jake Paul will make his way over here shortly. He's not done yet, Todd. You know, Mike Perry couldn't stop talking. He was screaming and yelling. Jake Paul can't stop fighting in there.
He almost knocked out third with that shot right there.
But, yeah, I was going to say, he's about to knock Third Chambers out.
Punch in there, Todd.
Well, back inside the ring one more time with Jake Paul. Ladies and gentlemen, Jake, quick question for you. A lot of the MMA community has said you've bitten off more than you can chew with Mike Perry. I think you've heard that before. What's your response to that one?
Hey, man, I'm a shark. I can eat a whole human. This is nothing new. This is what I do. I take risks. I fear no man. That's why this is the name of the fight. He is the king of violence. He has one-punch knockout power, but I don't get hit. And on Saturday night, you're going to see the sweet science come to life against a guy who doesn't know how to box.
What keeps you going with this?
Man, I'm going to be world champion one day. People can say whatever they want.
You keep saying
that's
it,
my
world
dream,
champion.
that's my goal, and I'm going to accomplish it to show the kids out there that you can go from zero to the best in the world in 6 years. I've been in this game for 4 years, and in 2 years, I will be world champion. That's what keeps me going. I'm on a mission from God to prove that anything is possible when you set your mind to it.
Against Mike, there's been a lot of trash talk coming into this. Social media, everything that goes on around the world. What are your true feelings about Mike?
Man, don't listen to him. You need to eat cereal for breakfast, not balls and nails. But my only message is Jake Joseph Paul, will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Mike Perry in less than 2 rounds. July 20th, this Saturday in Tampa, Florida.
Less than 2 rounds.
Jake Joseph Paul will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Mike Perry in less than 2 rounds. I promise you that.
Marcus words, ladies
Interesting
and
call.
Saturday night, Emily Arena.
Interesting call.
Jake, if you wouldn't
Less than
mind,
2
we're gonna
rounds. All right, there you have it. I think that is exactly what I expected out of these two. Mike Perry did not do as much proof his strength, fight a little bit in close, throw those hooks, throw those uppercuts, and Jake put on a show, put the glasses on, showed his jab really well, showed his straight right hand really well. I think the biggest L was the W deodorant or body spray mascot getting KO'd by Mike Perry. That was pretty funny. But that's all for this video. Next time we're here on the channel, I will be going full in-depth prediction on Jake Paul versus Mike Perry. And when it's time to make those predictions, we'll come back and we'll talk about it.